No vests.
Jay loves the dance moves.
I don't. I really don't.
All right, people. Wow,
Yes,
we are
sir.
at episode 13. I had to look up in the top left of the screen.
Is it 13?
It's 13, man.
Okay.
13 weeks
Okay.
in. We're still doing our thing. How are you doing tonight,
course.
Jay?
I'm doing great. You know, I often talk about the weather. It's the thing that really keeps me out here, man. I don't know what you're dealing with, but it was 80, 90, probably hit 90 today, so I can't complain.
I mean, we talked about people bandwagoning the Cubs a few episodes back, but I mean, you have a
Yeah.
Golden State Warriors flag up in your room for those that are tuning in via Spotify or Apple Music. Jalen has a big Warriors flag, and Jay, I don't remember you rocking the Warriors prior to that dynasty.
You know, since moving out here, I've been gifted some things, so that was one of them. I have a couple other Warriors, but if I panned the camera around, you would see all Bucks and Packers the rest of the way. So
Maybe,
and, I mean, obviously the Brewers. Like, I'm not switching up. You're
Don't
not
switch it
going to
up.
accuse me of switching up.
All right, that's good
It was
stuff.
a gift. The Warriors was a gift. I threw it up. It looks nice.
No, it looks great. So I want to start off this week, Jay, with something that I said we were going to get into many weeks ago, and I think it is an important topic. It's more of a deeper topic than we normally get into here on MVP. And
Did I freeze?
yeah,
All right, you gotta not freak out. All right, you gotta just keep going, okay, and give me some kind of cue and not look so obvious, because you literally melt down anytime it happens.
well, I don't know
and it's
what
visible.
to do. Like sometimes do you want me to give you a signal that
That's
means
what I'm saying.
like
Just
this?
keep talking, keep it cool, and yeah, we'll come up with some kind of cue, and I'll just fix it, because I literally don't know what could have happened. I'm not doing anything. Everything says green.
All right,
on my
let's just
side.
restart the episode. We're only a minute in. Restart the
restart
episode.
it.
But when if your screen freezes, Jay, I'm just gonna go like this, and that means restart it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
But don't look so startled and you look like somebody shot your dog every time it happens.
My
And
dog,
it's visible.
My dog's dead, you asshole.
No one shot it though, and you would look that you would look
It
like
died
that
of
if your
natural
dog shot it.
causes. All right, I'm gonna replay the intro. Let's just fucking run this shit back. God damn
Oh,
it.
you're an asshole.
No vests.
No mess. Dude,
Where'd you learn that?
I don't know, but I like it.
I don't know. I don't know if I do.
Dude, welcome to episode 13. Jay, I've been seeing people hit some of my dance moves out and about. Some no-vesters out there on a Friday, Saturday night, the scary hours on the dance floor, ripping what I like to call the kayak. You're basically
Okay.
kayaking back and forth. Now, it's an original dance move that I started
I
on
thought
MVP.
kayak would be here.
Maybe is this canoeing? I think
That's canoeing.
I'm
yeah,
hitting the
you're
canoe.
in the canoe.
I'm
Okay.
basically in a canoe. Jay, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great. Another night, we won't drop the sauce of when we record, but another record night with you. I look forward to it every week.
I do
Crushing
too.
Bud lattes, it's a good night.
Good stuff. Jay, let's just get into it. It is what it is. I just want to jump right in. It's
Yeah.
our time to shine.
We're ready to work.
We're ready to go to work. Now we brought this conversation up a few weeks back, and we never really fully got into it. I know maybe we dabbled a little bit, but we never really got into it. It's a little bit more serious of an MVP conversation than I think most people would expect us to have on here. I know this is a pretty comedy-based podcast. But one of the things I wanted to bring up, because I think it ties into our overall podcast quite well, is, liking versus hating. And I feel like so many people just stay in this neutral ground. And the question I brought up was, would you rather have, say there's 100 people out there. Would you rather have, let's say, 20 people really, really like you and like actually play like a role in your life, and then 80 people hate you? Or 50 people maybe be lukewarm on you, and then some maybe slightly don't. Yeah, I just feel like so many people play the middle ground. Now, I know I personally have a pretty bold personality, and I rub a lot of people the wrong way, but a lot of that also on the on the other spectrum, a lot of people really like me, so it's like I'm pretty polarizing.
The common phrase would apply to you: you either hate it or love it, right? It's either you're either all in or you're all out, and yeah, when that is used to describe people, they're usually probably pretty fun people,
Absolutely.
What I'm saying? Whether it is you're on one side or the other, you might hate them. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be honest, Jack, I'm like 50. I do love you and I do hate you at the same. Like, I don't know. It's somehow it'll differ on the day, but I think that's where you want to be. It's that indifference where it's just really, if someone just truly doesn't care about you, then it's like, you feel like you're not making an impact. You know what I'm saying? You want to be impactful, and I think, you want to get some kind of reaction out of people. Not saying that you only do things for reaction, but you want to feel, some kind of energy come back, whether it's you hate me or you love me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just like.
And I think the reason this is my own personal theory on this. The reason that people don't have a lot of people really like them is because they're very worried. People get so flustered, and I've noticed this in a lot of different people's lives, is they get so flustered when people don't like them. They get so worried, and they ask, why doesn't blank and blank like me? Why doesn't blank and blank like me? Oh, what did I do wrong? Or they worry about, stepping on people's toes or saying something that could be taken the wrong way. Where I don't look at it like that. If someone doesn't like you, there's a bunch of people that might really like you. Focus on those people. Don't focus on people, that, and a lot of times people don't like you because they don't know you. They maybe met you in a different setting or something like that, and they didn't like the way you acted. But then, you see them another time and you hit it off, and it's like, oh, I didn't think I liked you. It's like, why, Yeah,
that does make sense, and I think kind of on the train you're going on is. Hate is derived from love. You can't hate something without maybe having loved it at one point. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you wanted to love it. You like thought you would like it, and then it maybe gave you the wrong impression. So now it's like, oh, I hate. I don't like. And hate's a strong word. Obviously, everyone's not going around throwing. I just hate everyone I meet or anything like that. But like I said, you just want to get some kind of energy returned where. These people, a lot of people try to play it too cool. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, I don't really care about anything. It's like, you don't get much out of those people.
Or
talking
just
to those people.
Dude,
they're kind
like
of
such
level.
neutral takes. You know what I'm saying? Like everything they put on social media is just like just middle ground. Just like, I could agree with it. I could maybe disagree with you, but it's not going to fire you up. Nothing they say could be taken as, like actually a real honest opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's hard to get any kind of read off those people because, you're not really diving in on anything deep. Everything's very surface level thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. I think that's we basically came to the same conclusion, Jay. Is you would rather have 20 people really like you and 80 people hate you? Is that what you're saying? You never really answered that question, Jay.
Yeah, honestly, your math was like throwing me off a little bit. I think all I'm trying to say is I definitely just focus more on the people that are on the far ends. I focus on the people that either hate me or love me. If like those people in the middle that they have no opinion on me one way or another. They've met me, but they're just like, oh, I don't know enough, or I don't care to know enough. Those kind of people, I just try to ignore for the most part. But yeah, I would rather have people love me, a few people love me, and the most hate me if that's what it takes. I'd rather that than a bunch of people who just don't care.
No, I agree. Now, Jay, I want to get into MVP story time. It's my favorite time of the week. I know,
Of course.
According to the listeners,
This has become somewhat of like a diary
it is
for you.
It is.
This is where you let everything out.
Yeah, I mean, you need to have a place where you're.
I want you to know it's a safe space. I'm not
space.
judging you. I
don't think most no-vesters are. I could be wrong. I guess I'll find out in due time. But we're on episode 13. I don't feel like anyone's really judged me too hard.
You said you bump into them in the streets. I mean, what's the feedback in the streets? What do they say when they see you? Rather,
they tell me my stories are hilarious. Generally speaking.
Now, do you think they're maybe like a little intimidated? So they want to tell you what you
it's a true, honest opinion. But let me get into MVP story time. Okay. And this week, I go home and I had to, run an errand, and I had all this because I don't know what you do, but I basically keep all my mail like in my parents' house. Like all these providers send me most of my mail to my actual like parents' house because I just like don't, go through my subscriptions and change whatever. So I get all this mail, and a company sends me a letter, and it was from like a medical hand company. Like, because I actually had surgery on my thumb a long time ago, and they wrote me this letter. I got it in the mail, and they said, Dear Jack Mihalik, we wanted to alert you that your data has been compromised. Our servers have been hacked. Your personal information has been stolen. And I honestly was reading the thing, and I was laughing. I was like, this is kind of funny, because I don't know. I think there's safety in the masses. So like when the whole like Target thing came out, like everyone's information got hacked from Target. It's like, well, there's 4 million people that got their information pulled off a server. Like even the chances. Right. So I mean, I'm not too worried about like my personal information, but they never clarified what exactly they got. Like I don't know if they have my social security number, whatever. But then they go on to say later in the letter, because I read the whole thing, we're launching an investigation. We're doing, and I just came to the conclusion right there at that moment that the term investigation, what does that consist of? And I feel like that's everybody's way out. When you ask a question about something, anything, scandalous crime, whatever, they'll just say, we're investigating it. And I want to know, what even is an investigation? Like, how do we define investigation?
I mean, I'll just go from personal experience when I've used the term. It could be something as simple as I'm thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the more broad terms. Investigation is just like, we're giving it thought. We may search. That may consist of searching for something. It may consist of, just kind of thinking and gathering information. You know what I'm saying? That's an investigation. Me gathering a little bit of information is an investigation, in my opinion.
If a teacher asked you...
What I'm telling you is they're not doing much.
No.
They're not doing...
No, they said they're launching a full-blown investigation. I'm like, what does that even mean? It sounds like it happened like a month or so ago,
Yeah, you should have been investigating before I got breached. Like, you should have been on top of this.
I just feel like I hear like that word thrown around so often. Investigation. Sure. And it's just a junk word. Like, it's literally just what they use to be like, well, we're taking no ownership. We're not doing anything. Also for me, like, my data being compromised, like, what does that mean? Like, where do I go in life now that I have been fully compromised? Like, is there another Jack Mihalik out there using my name, my date of birth, my social security? Like, now that I've been compromised, where do I go, Jay? What do I do, Jay?
So, I mean, my information has been compromised once or thrice, I'm sure. I've received some apps that I use have been breached. I've received notice. But essentially, to my very base level knowledge, what I believe to be happening is they have a list of people, with all their information, whether it be name, social security, maybe your credit card, whatever you paid with, or something like that. Whatever information they had, that all gets compiled into like a folder essentially.
Yeah, file.
And that gets uploaded to marketplaces on the dark web. I'm pretty sure that like we may have to have a whole episode on the dark web, but essentially it's people that are doing illegal activity, they can go and search up, oh, I want to buy someone's identity, and maybe by chance yours gets purchased and used, but as of right now it's sitting in a file of like, look at all these people's information that we got. Does somebody want to buy this? Because obviously, like, it kind of, to go that next level and use your information as like a scam to like, maybe they open a bank account or maybe they do whatever with your information. That kind of takes more effort. If they can just sell that information, it's a lot quicker. You know what I'm saying? So whoever, just to give you a little bit of comfort, I think your shit is on the marketplace to be sold, may or may not. It probably will never get bought by anybody. That's kind of what I'm thinking, or used.
Wow.
What do you think?
I mean, there's a lot to unpack right there.
Did
You went down like 10 different avenues, and honestly, I started watching, I don't know, for all the other people that might tap in on YouTube, I was just watching, like halfway through I started watching Crash Bandicoot in the background.
Oh, no.
I didn't hear about 2/3 of that rant. All I know is I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, and I don't want to hear you try to explain it again. But
well, for the people who are, in the dark web and all that, they'll know what I'm talking about.
So that's another thing. I did hear you say we might have to have a full episode on the dark web. Do we have the resources at MVP to bring someone who's knowledgeable about the dark web?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that is. I'm tapped in a little bit. I'm not going to say that I mean, I know enough about the dark web, and I know I've actually myself been on the dark web, going through someone that I would call trusty in the computer world. It's literally a whole different internet, if you can imagine that. It's a separate internet. It's kind of the wild west of the internet. I think about that.
That honestly is kind of blowing my mind right now.
Have you ever heard of the Silk Road? That's
No.
unfamiliar?
I've heard of Silk. I have not heard of the Silk Road.
So the Silk Road essentially was it was the dark web's version of Amazon. Okay. You can get literally anything you can imagine, anywhere from weapons to miscellaneous drugs or foods or something like that, to even some of the sicker thing. Like it's when you think dark web, I think it kind of covers whatever you think is on there. It's on there. Okay. Let's just say that.
All right, I think I know where you're going with that. That's wow. Jalen knows a lot about the dark web, turns out. But Jalen, yeah. I think one of the things I like to do in this podcast is literally take one topic and then talk about something just on the completely different spectrum of the entire world.
Yeah,
and we love to do that. It's awesome.
I think it might be. I think kids nowadays, they call that like ADHD or something.
No, I don't have any of that. I just like to.
Yeah, but I feel like if you were a kid nowadays, they might just tell you had it. You're like, yeah, you got ADHD. But anyways, keep going.
So it's
I'm just saying they throw that around a lot.
They throw it around. Anyone, it's like if you talk too much in class, you're ADHD.
ADHD. Yeah.
Like if you talk and you get straight A's, you're not ADHD. But if you talk and you get like C's,
right,
ADHD. It just gets thrown around, and like the parents, low key, the parents that get sold on it, it's like they aren't the brightest parents either. It's like now we know why the kid's not doing well in school. It's just a lack of genetics. It's just a pure genetic problem. It's a purely
There's that, and ADHD. That again, that's a deep one. It goes well, but it gets thrown a little too loosely. Let's just leave it at that.
It could, all the time, all the time. But it's starting to heat up. This last weekend, it got up to like 80 degrees here in Milwaukee. Driving past Bradford Beach was absolutely shaking. Whatever, people are out in swimsuits. It's not cold. It's 80 degrees, and it led me thinking about, my times at the pool when you're growing up and having a blast. I loved being at the pool, like, what do they call it? A water bug or whatever, where you stay in the pool all day. Your hands start to, what do they call that?
Prune up.
Yeah, your hands start to prune up.
Fun fact. Let me drop a fun fact. You know why that happens?
No.
It's your body adjusting, and it gives you more grip underwater. So it's like, oh, I'm going into fish mode in case I need to grab something. Let my fingers get a little bit more grippy.
I'm literally gonna MVP fact check that. Our team is literally. I hear in my headset.
Zach, we've said this before. We don't fact check anything, so you just got to take what I say.
We really don't. I think people know that, and we're episode 13. I think people know we don't fact check a goddamn thing. Yeah, we really do. But Jay, like I was saying, at the pool growing up, and I wanted to bring up bad parenting. And one of the things that I noticed that is truly the worst form of parenting is this is fat kids at the pool in white t-shirts. That's the subject I want to talk about. Fat kids at the pool in white t-shirts. Do they think that they look better in white t-shirts? Why also is the white t-shirt always 2 or 3 sizes too big? Like, why is it always the dad's white t-shirt? And it looks like you're carrying 2 or 3 extra pounds. Now your tits are sagging like it's a fat kid at the pool. It's all bad parenting.
So
horrible.
I'm gonna let me ISO here, because I was at one point the fat kid with the t-shirt on, and I'm going to tell you, it takes some growing up and some maturing to just embrace it. At some point, you got to embrace a unit. You're a big guy. Mm-hmm. That tee's going to come off. You know what I'm saying? You're showing the man boobs, and it is what it is. Now, for those kids that are stuck, now, what I wanted to say is there is a difference between the old man with the t-shirt on and the young chap with the t-shirt on. I think the young chap needs to just break that. They're a little insecure. They're like, oh, people think I'm fat. Maybe they can't tell I'm fat if I have a t-shirt. Newsflash, it's way more obvious.
It's way more obvious. Like you're like one of, I don't know, there's 200 kids in the pool. You're one of the 2 kids that is wearing a massive, and it's a cotton white t-shirt. Like it has to be uncomfortable. Like
it's not comfortable.
It can't be
doesn't look good. It's not like it doesn't help you swim faster at all. Like it's weighing you down. Everything about it is bad. And all I can say to those kids, embrace it. Embrace the fact that you're a big guy. You're going to be the big guy of the group. It's no big deal. You know what I'm saying? Every group has them. You're the big guy. Every team needs a left tackle. You know what I'm saying? Every team needs a big, heady pulling guard. You know what I'm saying? Someone's got to grab the rebounds. All I'm saying, everyone plays a role. Embrace it, okay? Take that t-shirt off. Let them know.
Or like, what are the parents like saying to their? And I want to ask you, Jalen, as someone. Let me ask my interviewing question. As someone who has been the fat kid at the pool. Now, was this something that you decided, I'm Jalen, I'm going to wear my t-shirt into the water? Or was this something maybe your mom said, Jalen, you got sunburnt last time, maybe let's keep the white t-shirt on? Are they tricking you into it? Is there pressure there? Or are you waking up and you're like, I don't want to go into the pool with my buddies without covering up the man boobs I got going on?
Exactly. It's exactly that. I can only speak for myself and my experiences. And when you brought it up as a bad parenting, I just couldn't let that go, because I can't vouch for that. That was my decision. For whatever reason, I thought that was the move. I thought that would be better than just letting it ride, and it wasn't. And like I said, it takes some maturing, it takes some growing up to realize, get that bad boy off. You know what I'm saying? Let it ride. Now, I'm not going to say that there's not parents, that will tell their kids, hey, this is our swim gear. You know what I'm saying? You wear this, however they frame it or whatever.
Yeah.
That I definitely agree with you. It's like, that needs to stop. It's like, either embrace it, you know what I'm like, just embrace it. That's all it is. If you're happy, you're smashing Choco Tacos. I was housing Choco Tacos at the pool and ice. Like when you say you had a good time thinking about the pool, swimming, do the slides, all this, that, and the third. I'm thinking about that concession stand with fucking slushies and Choco Tacos and nachos. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, rip that shirt off. If your parents are telling you need to wear that, tell them they're fucking bullshit and you want to rip it off and let it ride.
Now, Jalen, last question. Were you also the kid at the pool who wore the athletic shorts with the white t-shirt, or did you have a legitimate swimsuit? I
mean, obviously there's those scenarios where you're out and about, you pull up at the pool and maybe all you got is the basketball shorts. But more times than not, if I'm going 9 times out of 10, if I'm going to the pool, I'm bringing trunks. Like, come on, I mean, I'm a swimmer, Jack. I'm not like, I've been told I have a swimmer's back. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that it's that big of a deal. I think the basketball shorts, not that big of a deal. Okay, like some people pull up with them it's not out of like, this is what I'm rocking. It's just that's what I had. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. All right, I think that's enough talking about fat people at the pool for one MVP episode. But
yeah, we can give them a break.
I want to do our red flag of the week segment. Now, I know I went first last week, so Jay, I will leave it to you. This is episode 13. RFW's coming at you, coming in hot.
I feel like I keep coming with bangers.
You do. Jalen, I had to legitimately look myself in the mirror because I was putting together a Twitter poll, and I was doing the best red flags of the week, and I had to look at it and think to myself, I have not had a top-notch RFW, like, because yours are so elite. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The reptile shit hit on another level. Last week's reptile salamander stuff, like, it hit home. It's true. We all know it. We've all seen it, and we know it, and that might be the biggest RFW
It's one of the bigger ones that you. It's almost like, I don't want to say, I might go out on a limb and say that's a deal breaker. That might be an automatic no for me. If I see that red flag, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So I try to not bring up too many of those. I try to keep them lighthearted, but I hope I don't run out. But man, I just keep coming with bangers, and I got another banger one this week.
I do as well.
It's gonna knock out a big chunk of people's draft boards. But that's what, like, I'm trying to get people. I'm not trying to have people settle and reach.
This is an educational show, Jay. And we said it from the beginning.
Awareness. Yeah, we said that. So, man, I really do hate to say this, but it just needs to be said. The dirty Air Force Ones. And it goes both ways. It's guys, it's girls. I don't know that I know one person with dirty Air Force Ones that I can truly say that's a good guy, or she's a nice girl. You know what I'm saying? It's just so many things are wrong with the dirty Air Force Ones. I mean, at the most basic level, it's just disrespecting one of the most classic silhouettes of a sneaker of all time. The Air Force One will go down in history as one of the best shoes ever. And to disrespect it and to rock creased, dusty, dirty Air Force Ones is disrespectful. It speaks on their sense of style. And biggest thing, it's trendy, right? It's a trend. And to just like think like, oh, I should just like beat the shit out of my Air Force Ones, or even like, oh, I see these at Goodwill, let me grab these. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen a lot. I do see that,
Jay. To me, I do see that. Like, a lot of girls go, or honestly, a lot of people go out to like the bars or parties in their Air Force Ones, get them sticky with beer, get them dirty, and they look like Air Force Ones if they're not kept pristine. Now, I don't know as nearly as much about AF ones as you do. I think everyone knows you're probably a little bit more knowledgeable on this than me. But like, when they aren't like a clean white, Like they just don't look great. You know what I'm saying? Like one or two like bad patches, not good. Not the look.
It's bad. And this is the thing, Jack. Oh, and I may get a little backlash for this. You know, people may say I'm like being insensitive or whatever. They're $90.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that like cheap shoes are like that. Okay, that's relatively cheap. Obviously, there's cheaper shoes. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that they're $90, you know, you keep them clean. And worst case scenario, you fuck them up. You go get another pair. They're $90. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Say
Say you run through them in 2 months or whatever. You get a couple scuffs on them that you can't brush out. You get another fresh all white. And if you're rocking different Air Force Ones, different colors, they get a little dirty. You know, that's okay. Like obviously some can kind of hold that worn look, but I'm talking about the all whites.
Now, Jalen, can you give us like a 20-second, like how do you clean your Air Force Ones? Because I've never even owned a pair, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm not a huge Air Force One guy, but what you would do is you would just, I mean, your classic sneaker cleaner. I'm not saying you need to go get any, you know, Jason Mark or anything like that. Just get the one from Foot Locker. You spray it on there. You get yourself a little washcloth and you wipe it down. And then after that, there's a second piece that will assist you in keeping your Air Forces clean. You get it with that water resistant spray. That's going to keep it nice and fresh. It's not going to crease as easy. And if you get a little splash, it's going to splash resistant a little bit. It's going to help. So after you clean it, you hit it with that water resistant.
All right, I got you.
And then you're out the door.
I got you.
If it comes down to it and you don't have the cleaner, you know, you're having a good weekend. You know, you just got paid. Drop 90 on the fresh all whites. People will notice. People will notice the fresh all whites. That's all I'm saying. And like I said, and this is the thing. If you went out to the bar tonight, Jack, you're gonna see a group, 6 chicks, 5 of them have all dirty white Air Force Ones, and it's just disgusting. They wear the same outfit, the same shoes, the same jeans, the same top, and it's just like I see it all too often, and that's the biggest problem.
That's tough.
It's just the copycatness of the dirty Air Force Ones. Mine
is, I think I'm gonna honestly take a little bit of backlash on my RFW this week, but it has to be said. And this is a real red flag of the week. Now, I know we have some that are really funny. I know we have some that, you know, are situational. No. This is a true red flag that, like, everyone actually needs to seriously take into consideration. And this is almost a scary red flag because people know that it is real. And I don't know how fair it is, but it is something you got to look at. Something you have to look at. Now, so there's a good amount of build-up. Now, you have to look at the parents, and you have to look at how they aged. And now I know that that's pretty bold, but like you have to look at how they aged. Like, because if you're talking to someone and like, you know, you see the mom and, you know, it's just like what happened here? Like, you know, you see her high school pictures or her couch pictures, it's like, yeah, she used to look just like this, like she was very attractive. Then you see her and you're like, I don't know exactly how you know what I'm saying, what path you went down, but like I'm red flagging that, Jay. There's red flags going off all over the place with that. And it's the same thing with guys. Like I'm sure girls look at like the dad and are like, you know, this is how he aged. You have to look at that, and it has to be taken very seriously. And I think, see, now that's when, like, if you go to someone's house, you know what I'm saying, meet the family, you gotta be, maybe you check out the upstairs bathroom. Maybe you walk past that panel of pictures of the family. Maybe you check out the mom's wedding photo. Maybe you take, like, I think a lot of people, now that they heard this on MVP, they might have to go and they might have to peep it, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be easy for the younger generations to maybe find some pictures now, you know what I'm saying? But, like, for us, It's like, yeah, we got to, you know, maybe you got to panel that family wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you had to meet them face to face, which is a big step in one. And, yeah, like you said, it can kind of, it's a real red flag. Like, things can kind of teeter at that point. Because it's a sneak peek into what your future may hold.
Yes.
You know, and
now it's not
obviously-
always true.
Correct. You know, people obviously break the mold, but relatively speaking, you are your parents. You're an offspring of your parents. You look like your parents.
Yeah.
Whether it's one or the other. And yeah, I mean, you hit the nose right on the head. It's one of the first things that you look at because that's not true because you don't always meet the parents that early.
No.
But you kind of in your head you're thinking like, I wonder what's the family look like, right?
Yeah.
And now you're looking and you're like, obviously when it's a positive and you go and you're like, man, like
Healthy
I would not be
genetics.
upset
Yeah.
if that's my whiz at 50 or whatever the age is.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can maybe, I have something to look forward to essentially. And like we said, this goes both ways. Guys, girls, if girls are listening, you can think about this in the guy situation too. Go look at the dad, see what he's looking like. Because odds are that's kind of the road he's headed down.
Yeah. No, I mean it's a serious red flag, and I think that might freak a lot of people out because it is so real. I've been pretty deep on episode 13 thus far. There's a lot of depth coming at you real quick.
There's one thing we can't deny is science, and I mean we're talking science here. It is what it is. Like that, no one can really deny that they are their parents. Adoptions, things like that, whatever. Like. But for the most part, that's one thing that you can really look to and you can trust. I agree with you, Jack.
Yeah, that's my red flag of the week. So Jalen had, the Air Force, the dirty Air Force Ones, and I had the, be careful what you're getting into. You got to check out the family genetics, especially, if it's a girl, you got to check out the mom, see how she's aging. Maybe don't take it too seriously, but look at the data. Run the analytics. And if it's a guy, you got she's probably gonna be looking at the dad. That's just basic human nature, Jay. And we're not gonna deny science on MVP. We would be foolish to, absolutely foolish.
Right. I agree. I couldn't agree more.
So last thing that I want to get into after red flag of the week is, Jalen, you had a little topic that you wanted to get into this week. The dumbest shit you've done for love. Now, I haven't had a ton of time to think of that. I wish I would have, maybe came a little bit more prepared for that segment.
Well,
but basically,
I'll cook a little because
go ahead.
It's kind of in vein of what we were talking about, meeting the parents and whatnot. When you get in a relationship, what you're trying to do, you're trying to make good impression all the time. You're trying to score. I like to call it scoring points, right? You're trying to score points. You meet the family. You're trying to score points with the family. So, and that can take you down roads that, you find yourself thinking like, what the hell am I doing right now? You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the theme that I wanted to put you on, Jack, is those moments where you took a step out of it, and you look from the third person view and you said, what the hell am I doing right now? And this may ruffle some feathers too, but if you find yourself at a youth, and I may ruffle some feathers. If you find yourself at a youth girls soccer game,
Dude.
trying to score points with the family, you know what I'm saying? It's tough. You know what I'm saying?
I was literally just thinking girls high school soccer was like the lowest. That was the lowest of the low. And I'm not here to make fun of girls high school soccer. It's great. It's fun. But like if you don't really know someone or somehow connected to the players, then like it's just you could do something better on a Saturday night. I don't know. Maybe
I don't like.
I'm not making. I don't like soccer. That's the biggest.
I don't like watching soccer for one. So like it's already tough, and then just to throw youth girls, it's just like adding more to the pot. I found myself at this game, and I'm just like, I'm trying to act like I'm interested, and I'm just like, what the hell am I doing right now?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because at that point, let's say like now you you go down the road far enough. Now you've committed. You told them you're coming to the next game, and now you find yourself at every game.
You find yourself coaching the team. By the way,
it's a slippery fucking slope because then it's just
like, hey, you're pretty involved. We need someone to run practice on Tuesday. I'm gonna be out of town. You in? And it's like, no.
Yeah. So if you got to go to the little brothers or the little sisters or the little cousins game, opt out. And you don't really want to go, like, it's not, all I'll say is it's not worth whatever couple points that you would score. Oh, he's a nice guy. He came to watch. I don't even know that they think that. I don't even know that I don't know.
I think, like, because, I mean, basically, Jalen, what you're discussing is you're talking return on investment, right? You're talking ROI. You're saying, if I go to a youth soccer game and I sacrifice, 3 hours of my Saturday morning,
right,
to something that is honestly
valuable. That's so valuable,
dude. That's the problem. That's the problem, Jay. Is like say someone invites you, like, hey, it's my cousin's fourth birthday party. Like, you have to come, and it's like, when is it? Oh, well, it's from 1 to 5 p.m. on Saturday, and it's like, wait, why aren't we doing this on, like, Monday night from, like, 6:30 to 8? Like, and then there's a Bucks game in the background, and we're not even celebrating the kid's birthday. We're focused on the Bucks or Brewers game. But that's the problem. It's just such valuable time. You only get Saturday, Sunday off. You know what I'm saying? Like, those days are sacred. I want to spend a lot of it on the couch. Some of it with friends, some of it out doing stuff, but like basically what you're talking about is ROI. I mean, you're saying, and yeah, I know, Jay, I feel where you're going with that. I really do. So
I want to know, give me one of your scenarios where you stepped back and you really thought to yourself, what the hell am I doing? I know you got one.
Like I said, I didn't come prepared, but one of the things that, like, I always just, like, really, it's a common date that, like, I think girls want to go on that, like, I just don't see as fun. Like, I think movies are fun, sporting events are fun. Like, dude, like, I'll even go ice skating maybe once in a while, like, whatever. Like, I'll sacrifice it all. But the only date that I, like, truly don't really like is mini golf. Like, every time I go mini golfing, I just, like, would just have, like, this moment where I'm just like, I hate myself for doing this. It's not fun. I don't know if anyone's having fun. It's expensive. It's stupid. There's in like, another thing that I'm gonna point out, Jay, is, like, legitimately the problem is when you go mini golfing with someone, and if they beat you, they think it's like, oh, like, I'm a better golfer than you. And it's like, really? You think that you're a better golfer than me? I can hit my drive 300 yards. You could maybe hit it 15 yards straight. And you want to say that you're a better golfer because your fucking ball went through a goddamn windmill it's bullshit synchronized? Are you kidding me? You hit it through the third one that took it from a PVC pipe down to the other hole and it went in. Where, like, I hit in the second one and somehow my ball ended up in, like, this bullshit territory. No, I'm sorry. Mini golf is absolutely fraudulent. It's horrible. It's stupid, and I will literally never go there ever again.
I agree. I've never been on a mini golf date, and I can say that I'm glad about that because I could agree. I would find myself saying, this is not where I want to be. And now, forget all that. Let's kind of dive in on mini golf a little bit. I think mini golf needs to be changed a little bit. I think we need to revamp mini golf because honestly, the first 3, maybe 4 holes are fun. All right.
Yeah.
But you don't want to play
18.
You don't even want to play 6 holes of mini golf.
No.
And when you think about it, it's like there's really nothing mini about a mini golf course. You go there, it's this big fucking place with all this extravagant thing. It's like, let's keep mini golf mini. I think mini golf should maybe be like a portion of the golf course where like you're walking by and maybe like you play like a fun hole. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah, for
doesn't
like a
count
couple
toward your
bucks,
score.
or like who's gonna buy the first round of beers? Let's play these 2 ridiculous putting holes. No, I completely agree with that. But to take someone to, and here's the thing, it's always like, oh, like what should you do? Maybe you should go mini golf, and people throw that out suggestion. It's like, do I want to spend $40 or $30 on something
Expensive.
that I find absolutely miserable after, I don't know, 15 minutes? And you always see like that high school couple that went, they're always on like the hole in front of you, and it's just like the guy's never held a putter in his life. He has no idea what he's doing. It's uncomfortable. It's always so close. Like, you're hearing other people's conversations. I absolutely am 100% off the mini golf bandwagon, and every time I find myself at a mini golf course, which quite honestly is very, very limited because I haven't gone in about 5 years because I hate it, I always am like, man, this is just so, why don't we just go to hit the Ferris wheel, man?
Right. Yeah, see, the mini golf for me was like a child's, like, my parents took me when I was rather young. It was maybe like a Dell's thing. We might have ripped mini golf. Like, that's kind of the memory of mini golf I have. But beyond that, like, I don't know that since I've been, 16, I could say that I've really truly enjoyed going mini golfing. And yeah, I think we need to revamp mini golfing. I don't need a whole course. Just give me a couple holes that I can knock out, in between doing something that's actually fun. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely, 100% agree. Anything else you want to add, Jay? Anything else? I mean, you said last week that you watched Desperate Housewives for a little clip. I just want to put that back out there. So, I mean, you probably have some more stuff. We got youth soccer games. We got Desperate Housewives.
Listen, man, like I said, I was once young and in love, and yeah, you do some wild things, man. You find, and yeah, in both of those scenarios, I just took a step back and I just looked at the bigger picture and I just realized, like, dude, you're fucking acting out of character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's like, we can maybe dabble a little bit on that this week and maybe more next. But, I'm all for, compromising and doing things to make your significant other. But when you totally go against your morals and your values, and you totally change up just because it pleases somebody else, to me, I can't ride for that. And I kind of want to know what your take is on this. Like, are you going to switch up to get the girl that you want?
No, absolutely not. I mean, there's obviously always compromise, but Jay, you get to the point where you have to just draw that line, and part of drawing that line is if old you would punch new you in the face for doing new activities, then and that's where your friends really got to help you out, man. And that they hear what you're doing, and they'll be like you're doing what? You know what I'm saying, this Saturday? Like, you're missing out on like a fun time with the boys for, like something small,
Perfect example. A buddy of mine, he's a huge UFC guy, right? And this just the other weekend was one of the better UFC cards in a very long time. I'm not a huge UFC guy. I really enjoyed watching it. And he was telling me like, yeah, I was going to go over to my buddy's house. We were going to get turned up, watch the fights. But my girl, she was like, no. I don't want you to do that. And he abided, and he was like, okay, well then I guess, like, will you at least watch the fights with me? And she was like, yeah, sure. But like, and again, like, compromise, that's cool. But like I said, he's a big UFC guy. Deep down, he wanted nothing more than to be in a room with his boys getting fired up, ripping shots of Hennessy or whatever it is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Watching these fights. Instead, he was watching it with his girl. Like, he wasn't as fired up as he would.
So that brings me to the last thing. That brings me to the last thing I want to get into here before we sign off, Jay. It's just people who share their location via iPhone with their significant other, absolute no-go. And I'll tell you why. One, it's fucking weird. It's just straight up weird. You should not be okay with anyone tracking your location like that. Anyone. I don't care if you say you're going to church and you go to church. That's fine. You should not have anyone tracking your location like that all the time. Now I get it with like girls and their friends, tracking each other to make sure that they got home safe. I get that, but like I was coming home from golfing one time with one of my buddies, and we're driving home, and I'm like, oh, we should stop and get a brewski at this local tavern, whatever. And he's like, yeah. So we're there for 15 minutes. We have beer. I'm like, let's have one more. And he's like, nah, I can't. I'm like, why? And he's like, oh, my girl's gonna see that I've been here for too long. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, she's tracking my location. I'm like, I didn't know what to say. All I know is I got so mad. Just why would you ever sign up for that? It's just. No. It's just ridiculous. And I always say there are two types of relationships. One that works, and two where they track each other's locations. You can take that to the bank. That's some Otchi Gen wisdom.
Yeah, write that down. Put that in a shrine. That's facts, because it's just, what's the point? It's like you're only going to get upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, the guy was doing nothing wrong, just enjoying a nice beer. But the fact that he even considered changing what he would normally do, like you said, it was just a normal thing. We were just on the way back, figured we'd stop and get a beer. Usually one beer turns into two beers. That's natural. Yeah. And he went against that. He went against things that he knows, all because he knew that, she was tracking his location and she would be upset about that. And it's just that's exactly what I mean. It's I just can't find myself switching and acting different like that, just knowing that it makes someone else happy. It's just I can't buy into that.
All right, well, Jay, I think that's all we got for the folks tonight. That's episode 13. We're gonna bring on a couple of guests in the next few weeks. I know I promised some guests here coming up shortly. I do want to give a t-shirt shout out to Emily Peterson and Olivia Anderson for tapping in to MVP episode 13. So we'll get them hooked up with some t-shirts. Jay, anything you want to say before we sign off episode 13? I really like the way this episode went, I got to tell you.
Yeah, I had a good time as always, and I keep it the same at the end as always. Subscribe to YouTube, Apple Music, or not Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Drop us that follow. Drop us that 5-star review. Whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? We love it. Blow us up, man. The people need to hear this stuff. That's all I can say.
Also coming soon, a Friday fish fry for those people that reside in Milwaukee. I will be giving out a shout out to a fish fry joint that I went to that I thought was, and I will rate it for you at the end of the episodes. I know people have been telling me that they want to hear that at the end of the episode, so I will be doing that shortly. Jay, this is episode 13, MVP Otchi Gen Juicy Jalen signing off. Thanks for tapping in.
Yes, sir.